Very warm welcome to sir. Good morning. On behalf of our management, our director, Dr. Jiten Banvi sir, I welcome you for this online session. There is a vast description of yours, but I would like to give you a brief introduction to all my students present here. Good morning, good morning all. Dr. Subhash Kumar, today we have with us a renowned personality from the field of pharmacy, Dr. Subhash Kumar Pandey sir. Sir has been an example of true achiever because of his hard work, dedication, and commitment to the profession. It is our honor to have international renowned personality with us online. Description of his personality, experience, achievement cannot be described in short duration of time, but his brief introduction is as follows. Sir has completed his M.Pharmacy, a Master of Degree of Pharmacy and PhD from Hari Singh Gaur University, Sagar. Professionally, sir has 30 years of experience in pharma industry in various functions such as formulation development, research, manufacturing of sterile oral solids, sterile and non-sterile AIP, API, quality assurance, quality control, execution of project, working since last 15 years in senior management ensuring organizational and business goals through CGMP, harmonization of procedures and practices and automation in pharmaceutical industry, workflow development, project execution, interference of software application, automation pharma industry, auditing, a qualification of control manufacturing site of various dosage form. So has personal competency and quality control department also, personal planning service level and productivity improvement, efficient work culture of waste reduction, enhancement of quality for sustained compliance, personal training with practical case studies and solution, due diligence and vendor management, successfully executed 10 projects in different pharmaceutical companies as a greenfield project and various expansion projects. So as in Lupin, Glenmark, Ranbaxy, Zadis Kerala and IPSI, awards and appreciation. So it has number of awards to its credits. By appreciation by IBC Asia Singapore for holding workshop at Singapore and Malaysia. Illustrious Alumni Lifetime Award by University of Sagar on Diamond Jubilee of Department of Pharmaceutical Science. Long Service Award at Lupin Limited and Glenmark Pharmaceutical. Best Trainer Award by Healthcare Quest Foundation, Chandigarh. Appreciation for skill development program, other activities. He has contributed very much to the academics as well. Successfully guided for research scholars for awards of the PhD degree. Member of Council of Industrial and Higher Education Collaboration for Central University as per the Directives of Ministry of HRD, Government of India. Member of Syllabus Committee of Technical University Bhopal, associated with e-learning project of Delhi University supported by Skill Development Program of Government of India. Associated with various college and university taking lectures on skill development, GMP awareness, preparing for interviews and training various subjects. Sir has number of publications in journal and international journals and articles in magazines and newspaper as well. Further has regulatory exposure. Sir has US FDA inspection in oral solids, sterile and non-sterile API, semi-solids, and WHO GMP for oral solids, semi-solid inspection, lyophilization process. Further to add, he has pleasing personality. He's a very soft-spoken person, humble, down-to-earth, helping people even after achieving so much in life. Today, he's available with us, so let us have the advantage of his rich experience, knowledge, capability, and contribution to pharmaceutical industry. Sir, again, I welcome you on behalf of everyone present over here, especially from our director, Dr. Jiten Banvi. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Payal. Thank you very much. पांडे सर, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है हमारे सेशन के अंदर। जब हम मिलते हैं तो आपको चरण स्पर्श करता हूँ, आप आज ऑनलाइन चरण स्पर्श स्वीकार करें मेरा सर। Thank you very much, sir. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of myself and on behalf of the institution and the organization.
So, Dr. Banveer, who all are there? Only teachers or students are also there online?
Actually, this is a session for all the faculty members of pharmacy and also for the students. So students is also there and pharmacy faculty is also there, and it has been circulated to all the people of the professors. So more or less, if anybody is interested in our topic or theme, they can come and join the session also. Even for fine. responsible.
Okay. Thank you.
And I also welcome Dr. Surenjan sir, who is also present over here for the session, and all the faculty and staff members and dear students. And I just wish that you please note down each and everything, because sir has got so vast experience in the field of pharmacy, as Payal has already narrated to all of us. So I just request all of you to please note down everything and just keep the track of Pandey sir, because he is very influential person in the field of pharmacy, and he can help you in any moment of time, maybe for your UG program or PG program, or even in the employment opportunities. So thank you very much, sir. And I just
Thank you,
handed over the mic.
Yeah, thank you. And am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Jain Saab, namaskar.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार भाई, कैसे हैं जैन साहब?
एकदम बढ़िया सर. आप ठीक है सर? एकदम लुक चेंज लग रहा है आपका सर.
हाँ, थोड़ा दाढ़ी बढ़ गई यार, और क्या बस.
जी सर. जी सर.
चलो थोड़ा चेंज भी तो होना चाहिए ना.
हाँ सर. जी सर.
Now I'm sharing. लॉकडाउन में लॉकडाउन होना चाहिए. अच्छा, so as requested by Dr. Banveer, that formulation development should be taken as a comprehensive review of where we stand and what is the growth and how to approach the formulation development in India. Now, having done MPharm and interactions field, I personally is inconsistency, the result consistency in the development. Basic reason why don't we learn during our academic life what is required by the industry. Every time everybody will not get the right results, or what you call the positive results or successful results. Many times it happens that we have to have or we get negative results also, and those results are equally important in the sense that they give you insight what can go wrong, what we call as a risk management. So risk management comes from there. So when you get a negative result, then you come to think and derive from there that what went wrong, and that you correct. So that should be the approach in academia also, whether they are doing MPharm, whether doing PhD or any experiment they are doing. Second problem which I foresee and which I have experienced is that people don't record the things. Whatever today we get the results, or whatever experience we generate during the experimentation done during a PhD or during your MPharm, those results are or those experiences are not recorded anywhere and are not written anywhere in your thesis as well. So the next person who is referring your thesis or referring your work will know what is overwritten there. He or she may not be able to know what was your experience in those 6 months or 3 years or 4 years of your PhD. So this is my another request, so that if the baton is passed forward, then the person who is getting the baton should have that knowledge, positive and negative, and the experience of the person who has worked. So he gets the whole knowledge about it, and then the things go further. The same thing happens in industry. It is recorded, and there of the scientist, but the record speaks by itself, and the person taking the baton next knows everything about what is happening, what is not happening, what happened, and how those things were tackled. Anyway, so with this background, now I share the screen, and then we will go on the topic and the presentation. Okay?
Okay, sir. Meanwhile, I inform you all participate that if the session break in a 40 minutes, then again you rejoin by clicking the same link.
Yeah. So now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So the topic given to me is...
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Make this full screen.
Yeah, I am doing that. Full screen. Full screen. Okay, now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So, so the topic given to me by Dr. Manveer was comprehensive review on formulation and development of pharmaceuticals. So first we will go through what is the current scenario and the challenges of formulation development as an overview. So the Indian pharmaceutical industry is undergoing fast changes. The Indian generic market is witnessing rapid growth, opening up immense opportunity for industry. So those who are interested in R&D, those who are interested in the development part can have very good opportunity in the coming months or year. And as you know, in the current scenario, you might have gone through the information and the news which is coming through Google or the newspapers, that many of the industries, those who are situated in US or in EU or other countries, they are now trying to de-risk China because of this. So they want another country where the supply can be maintained and there is no interruption in the supply. So this is further triggered by the fact that the generic worth 40 millions are growing off patent in the coming few years, which is close to around 50% of the total prescription market of US. So which gives you a very good scene or the futuristic view of pharma industry in the development of formulations and other areas. The Indian pharmaceutical companies are doing extremely well in the developed markets, as you know, such as US, Europe. Notable among these are being Zydus, Cadila, Lupin, Dr. Reddy's, Wockhardt, Cipla, Aurobindo, Nicholas Piramal, and many others. Small players are also there. They have few products, and those products are being manufactured in India and supplied to the developed countries and other exporting countries. India is 4th in volume and 13th in value. Highest number of manufacturing plants approved by US FDA, next only to that of US for the DMF, that is for the supply of API, is India. Indian industries are focused on regulated global market league, leveraging their low-cost CGMP compliant manufacturing. This is very important for any regulatory agency, that the quality is good, compliance is maintained as per their norms, and also the cost of the material or the drug which is being supplied is optimum, so that they can afford those medicines. As you know, in the background also, that when Mr. Bush became the president of US, there was a lot of discussion going on this cost will be a problem or cost will be fixed and all those things. But still, because of the diplomacy, because of their need, or because of various other factors, it happened so that the business continued, and still it is continuing. And because of this corona problem, now they are asking us to supply more medicines for different ailments. And one more thing, you might be knowing that many plants which were under the scanner of US FDA or other agencies have been cleared for the time being for supply of the medicines and API, etc., to different markets. So this is all the positive side of it. Indian pharmaceutical has thrived so far in reverse engineering skills, exploiting the lack of process patent in the country. We are expert in this. When we don't innovate the things, but if anything is innovated, then we have lot of other permutation and combinations available, so that the drug goes off patent, and once it is off patented, then the same product can be supplied before the patent actually expires. So all those things are also quite positive in the sense of development and the supply of products. Close to 15% of the total prescription market of the US formulation. Indian companies creating values on the bulk drug, as you know, that is API, generics, multi-sourced drugs, different for different ailments. We are also working, but not very successful, in novel drug delivery systems. New chemical entries we have done for phase 1 study up to phase 1 study. And also the vaccine and biotechnology area is a new area which is coming up, and that will succeed as far as we know, and many of the companies have claimed that they are under development, and soon they will be going for the clinical trials. And you might have heard or read somewhere that Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, has asked the regulatory agencies in India to expedite on giving the approvals, so that the process is fast and people get the right medicine at the right time. Indian pharmaceutical market, which is growing at the annual rate of 20.6 and has reached around 70 billion, expected to grow at a compound annual rate of 20% during next 5 years. So again, lot of benefits, lot of opportunities are coming on the way of pharmacists, and therefore we should grab this opportunity and contribute to the India as well as the whole mankind. What actually we are doing now, the therapeutic segment, what we are focusing is analgesic, vitamins, food products, dermatology, CNS, gynecology, anti-diabetic, and anti-infective, CVS. At different percentages we are respiratory. So all these things, all these the therapies which are available are being supplied from India. For many of these products, we were manufacturing APIs, but because of the cost factor, we went back to China, and we became dependent on China, and therefore now there are issues with respect to the supplies from China. And therefore now, what again I'll quote our Prime Minister in his one of the talks, that we have to be self-sufficient now. Such thing can happen or may happen in the future. So this should be our learning, that we should be self-reliant in terms of all excipients, all APIs, everything, or packaging material, etc. So that if needed, we can manufacture ourselves and supply to the world. There are some initiatives taken by the government also, and these are the such initiatives, that is plans to launch a drug discovery program that teams global information technology firms, researchers, company, young minds, that is startup India, etc., and the scientific laboratory. The cost incurred by large pharmaceutical industry is to be reduced. Then web management tool for opening source of drug discovery projects and putting the data into this web, and exchanging the experience or the technical skills, so that the development part is quite fast. Earlier, what was happening earlier, that if say one scientist is working on one area, like in your MPharm or PhD, one person has got a project and he is working on that. So he is the lone person and his guide. These are the two persons involved into that project. No third person is involved in. So now if we create such kind of database, such kind of experiences, such kind of what projects we are doing, and take support from people from outside, maybe within the your organization or your institute, or from other side also. They can generate the data, they can exchange the data, they can everything can be done, and they can take inputs fast and get the things done at a faster rate. So this is now coming in industry, so that you have some experts outside and connect with them and interact with them to get their expertise and inputs, and so that the development is fast and you don't just go around and around your problem. So you can have faster solutions to your problems. That is what is meant by this. The target, as I said, that tuberculosis, malaria, diabetic, heart ailments, antibiotics, AIDS, etc. all we are already making and supplying. And now the latest challenge is corona and its vaccine, on which the companies are working. So what is the value chain for the development? First and foremost is the target and identification of the product to be developed. So if you target, when you go to the industry, I'm not talking of today when you are working or in the pharmaceutical institution where you are doing M.Pharm or PhD. There the resources are the constraint, but still the ideas are not the problem. One can have idea what can happen. So those things can be targeted, and those are less developed in the academics expertise, but can be generated, and the investment can come from the industry. Lead generation, whether it is medicinal chemistry, custom chemical synthesis, or molecular modeling, whatever way we are working. So those things should be understood properly, so that readily available things are given to industry. Today, what is happening that industries have got their own projects, they develop, they do the clinical and everything. But if some basis is available from academics, then it will be faster, because that person or a group of person will understand the product right from during their studies, and they can contribute faster and better as compared to the new person who has taken the project. Then preclinical development, then phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trial, and then comes on the commercial manufacturing. So this is the life cycle for the development and the value chain. Opportunity is in India for clinical development, access to patient with disease of both tropical and industrialized world, motivated English-speaking investigators, urban center cost-effective healthcare system, robust IT infrastructure and resources, and stable regulatory environment. So all these are the, again, the positives with regards to India. And we have got many centers now coming up, those who are supporting the development, and the new products are being introduced. Now, the case of offshoring in a global data management to the large and growing resource pool, highly developed process innovation skills, credible data quality, because now we have the confidentiality agreement signed between the two parties. So nobody can leak the data. What we fear that, or we are afraid of that my data will be used or my information will be used. So all those things are not there now. If it is under a confidentiality agreement, then nobody can take off your data and your skills. So what is the vision? So these are the, you can read through that. The vision is the glimpses of Indian pharma future, is the current state threshold and the future state. So we are not going to the current and this because you all are studying and tomorrow you will be in the field. So we will focus on the future state. So now India is focusing on the new chemical entities. New chemical entities development, contract research, and clinical research. In manufacturing, we are doing very well in API, bulk drug sourcing, and we are the preferred suppliers. We are also the contract manufacturing hub because now the concept is changing to a level that nobody wants to put his or her money into the construction and manufacturing plant and taking all those responsibility. Instead, what they are doing or interested is like Abbott has done. They have taken an old plant of Piramal and they have got many products getting manufactured on contract sites. So they don't own the site, the management is different, only they are supplying the raw material and getting the finished product. And they are focusing on their marketing. So this is another model or the new model which is coming up, and many such companies are interested to get it manufactured at lower cost in India and supply worldwide. Global distribution, about 15 to 20 Indian players have a direct presence in the global distribution system. So now earlier it was that we were taking help of some distribution management agencies in different countries. But now Indian companies have started doing themselves, and therefore they are earning good money and they are having good base in those industries. I'll share one experience over here. Around 10 to 12 years back, I went to France. So I had some acidity. So I went to a pharmacy and asked for something antacid kind, although I was not having any prescription, etc., etc. So I just requested. So he asked me which company or which product you want, etc. So I said any Indian industrial product if you have. So they had only one company's product there. No other Indian company was existing in France 10 years ago. They had only product from Ranbaxy, which is now not non-existing now. But earlier Ranbaxy was the only company which was existent in EU market. So now since the distribution and everything is there, now people know Indian companies very well. Their names are quite available, and they have got a good credibility also. So now the challenges, 12 years on an average for an experiment to travel from lab to medicine chest. As we now are struggling for corona vaccine, normally it takes, because today it is the need of the hour, it is different, but in a normal course around 10 to 12 years for an innovator, it takes 10 to 12 years for an average experimental drug, which is a NCE, to travel from lab stage to the medicine as a medicine in the market. Only 5 in 15,000 compounds that enter preclinical testing make to human testing. This is again a big problem that we do so much for developing a compound, but it passes, say, phase 1 trial, goes into phase 2, but it fails in phase 3. Or if it passes in phase 3, it fails in the human trials. Even if it passes in one breed of human trial, it fails in the other breed. So it is a lot of challenging situation, and lot of money goes into such kind of development. And therefore, only if you know that only the big companies can afford to do like development of the new compounds and new chemicals. So now we come to the process of drug development. The first stage of the process is drug discovery. High throughput screening is used to test thousands of potential targets with thousands of diverse chemical compounds in order to identify promising leading compound or a chemical entity that interacts with the target and therefore have a potential as a drug. I am talking here of the new chemical entity. We will come to the normal formulation in the next half of this our presentation. The alternative method of rationale of drug design involves the design and synthesis of the compound based on the known structure of either or a specific target or one of its natural ligand. The result of the Human Genome Project and Human Pathogen Genome Project provide many new potential drug targets, and therefore, if you know, now we are more targeting your Serum Institutes and other companies, those who have good presence in biologics and vaccines. So they are coming up quite fast in development of the products and the drugs. So drug development process, drug discovery has a high attrition rate. You start with say 10 to 20 or 100 and during screening, you come to select only 1 or 2 out of whatever has been done. So it has got a very high attrition rate of removing what you are targeting. High throughput, as we discussed, there may be a process of lead optimization where processing. What happens, I am just trying to tell, not reading with this, that various reasons why it is eliminated is because of the efficacy or the toxicity of the product which you are targeting. Preclinical development stages, what is aimed and what is found is different. Also, the process optimization is a problem. Now, I'll give 1 or 2 examples here to make people understand. You have developed a wonderful drug or a medicine. Now, its stability, if it is a problem, if it cannot be formulated, it cannot be distributed, it cannot reach to the patient, then it has no meaning. So the development part becomes very important when the chemical entity has been found. Everything cannot be converted into capsule or a tablet or anything. And if it is temperature sensitive, say it is humidity sensitive or it is light sensitive, there are various challenges. While pH sensitive, then there are various challenges into that. And the optimization fails. Even if it goes up to say phase 3 trial, then the formulation of that chemical entity becomes a challenge. So how much time overall it takes? So as I said, around if you just go through this, if you go to the success rate finally, which is most important for anybody who is working, that from out of 5,000 compounds evaluated, 5 only went.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. The time is about to over, so I requested you to join back with the same link. All the participants are also requested to join back the same link. Please.
How much time? When to join?
Just take a moment, sir. Whenever they complete the session, again they rejoin by the same link.
Okay. Thank you.
2 minutes are left for the session, sir. 2 minutes are
Okay. So I'm just concluding on this set of slide that the success rate is out of 5,000, only 5 trials were completed and only 1 got approved. So out of 5,000, one got approved. That means what is the low success rate for the new chemical entities. So challenges, as we discussed already, that there are many gaps in that, and the success drug company future will have a product portfolio consisting of many smaller market drugs. These will the risk of bridging the gap between the discovery and public consume are better positioned to tackle diseases, especially those devastating development countries or developing countries. In India, new technologies have not yielded expected results. Merger and acquisition activity over the last several years did not yield research and development efficiencies. Merger and development has happened for the manufacturing or the product or the brands, but not for the research. Delayed drug development process and pharma industry has become easy target for price control and price reduction. So because of the price control and all this, all the profits have gone into which were invested in R&D are not getting invested into R&D now. So that is a financial constraint on R&D now. And to end at the new high through screening, fast evaluation of drug application and targeted segment on priority, then the need of the hour is this. And Corona, as we know that it is going on, so we have to do that. Now I have got another presentation which I'll take it up soon after your this break.
So immediately all the participants, please join the next session with the same link and the ID which has been given to you. It's about in a second or two, it will get off.
Okay, thank you.